Maneka Gandhi.
It is really important that this House understands the importance of the MCI. The current minister's predecessor had made it his ultimate goal to take over the MCI because he realized that it had turned into a cash cow. We opposed him in the standing committee, of which Mr. A.K. Antony was a minister, for 5 years. There was a unanimous resolution by every member in the standing committee of every party that the MCI should not be taken over by the government. As soon as this government came and this minister came, they took over the MCI under the excuse that it would only be there for 6 months, then they would give it back to an elected body. It is now entering its 3rd year. Now, the minister said that he was taking it over on the grounds that there was an allegation of 2 crore rupees malfeasance. And he promised that there would be total transparency. My remarks today are to point out what transparency there has taken place in the last 2 years. Permissions for undergraduate and postgraduate courses have been given by the Board of Governors of MCI in spite of many deficiencies observed in the assessment reports, in assessments carried out by the assessors appointed by the Board of Governors itself. This shows an utter disregard for regulatory function for which it was entrusted.
Honourable members, please, you are disturbing.
In the case of colleges which were found to have employed teachers with fake and forged certificates, regulations prescribe that such colleges should not be considered for granting permission for 2 academic years or for permitting postgraduate courses. However, contrary to the specific punitive measures provided by the regulations, permissions have been granted for MBBS courses, and in some cases, even postgraduate courses have been permitted. Rather than using this power judiciously, the Board of Governors has granted permission to many institutions, even when the assessment reports of the assessment team appointed by the BOG itself have reported deficiencies in their assessment reports, totally negating the basic function of the MCI to maintain the quality of medical education or produce good doctors. Sir, the CBI had also conducted inspections of its own in several institutes for which it had received complaints. In their inspections, they had found many cases of irregularities in respect to teaching faculty and clinical material. It had found teaching faculty who had submitted fake and forged certificates or who were present only on the day of inspection. It had found fudging of data pertaining to clinical material by the management of these institutes. It had observed inadequacy of clinical material. In some institutes, deficiency of infrastructure was also found. It had meticulously gathered evidence in respect of as many as 10 institutes and submitted the same to the MCI. These are the institutes: Index Medical College Indore, KPC Medical College Calcutta, Rohilkhand Medical College Bareilly, Shri Rammurthy Smarak Institute Bareilly, Muzaffarnagar Medical College Muzaffarnagar, Tirthankar Medical College Muradabad, Guru Ram Rai Medical College Dehradun, Kalinga Institute of Medical Sciences Bhubaneswar, Bhaskar Medical College Hyderabad, Adi Parashakti Medical College Melma Ravathur, Mamta Medical College Khanam, again Ulhas Patil Medical College Jalgaon, new college at Waliyar Kerala, a new medical college at Kalapa, Sri Venkateshwar Medical College in Pondicherry, Gitanjali Medical College in Udaipur, Aziza Medical College in Kollam. Now, in spite of that, as these institutes were found to have employed teachers with fake and forged certificates, with evidence provided by the CBI, the provisions of 831D of Establishment of Medical College Regulations, debarring them for a period of 2 years, are clearly attracted. In one case, the CBC had also recommended action. No action has been taken against these colleges. In total disregard, they have been given permission to admit a fresh batch of students. This matter of granting permission to those colleges against whom the CBI had filed FIRs and had found gross deficiencies during the inspections conducted by them, and which should have been debarred, requires thorough investigation, and I would ask this House to unanimously ask for a CBI investigation into the Board of Governors and the ministry. The previous minister has been charge sheeted for corruption doing the same thing with these medical colleges. This is simply an extension and, in fact, an increase of corruption. Sir, let me now evaluate the performance of the Board of Governors, who have been vested with the powers of the central government in the matter of permissions of the medical colleges and various undergraduate and postgraduate courses. Let me inform this House that the Board of Governors, due to its incompetence and inefficiency, has only managed to destroy a system created and nurtured over a period of so many decades, and which was working fairly well. A lot of procedural irregularities have been committed in evaluating applications for undergraduate and postgraduate courses. In some cases, the decisions which are conveyed to the institutes are contrary to those taken to the BOG. Still no action to rectify the errors is taken. Evaluation of assessment of the institute for MBBS courses, which is a must for applicants of postgraduate courses, as is prescribed in the regulations, has not been carried out. To the best of my knowledge, 2,000 applications for various PG courses for the academic year 2012-2013 were received by MCI till May 2011. In this regard, the Honorable Supreme Court has issued a direction in the Mridul Dhar case that the prescribed time schedules have to be strictly adhered to by all authorities, and if any authority fails to do so, he is personally liable. But so thick-skinned is this BOG that it doesn't even care about the Supreme Court. Knowing full well about the time schedule and the volume of work, the BOG should have planned to execute the task of deciding upon the applications for PG courses in such a manner so that the deadline prescribed by the regulations, that's the 31st of January for recommendation by MCI and 28th of February for final decision by the BOG, should be met. However, it slept over it for 5 months. The assessment process only began in the month of December 2011, knowing that the last date was the 31st of January 2012. When BOG realized that due to the ineffective handling, the deadline could not be met, it requested the central government to extend the deadline. And the central government, of course, obliged. After all, it is their own hand-picked MCI for reasons best known to the entire House. And they obligingly extended this to 31st March without taking any permission from the Supreme Court. It also made a stipulation that MCI would give wide publicity of this extension of deadline. Instead of doing that, the Board of Governors simply confined the decision to itself. It's only when the Honorable High Court passed strictures on the current MCI for not following government direction that publicity was given. While all this drama was going on, the process for deciding upon the applications of postgraduate courses moved at a snail's pace. The momentum was not expedited. It, however, time and tide wait for no one. The BOG did not take any decision in practically all cases till the last week of March 2012. When they observed the time was slipping out of their hands, instead of taking remedial measures, only a general circular on MCI's website that these institutes whose applications had been rejected should remain present in the office of MCI on 26th, 27th of March 2012 for representation. Even at this point, most institutes had not received their communication at all, and they were in total darkness about the fate of their applications. Under these circumstances, some institutes were asked to submit their presentations as late as 29th March, just to give a sham hearing, my colleagues in this House, so that they could be rejected or accepted for reasons that had nothing to do with producing good doctors. No effective opportunity was given to these institutes for compliance verification. All this sequence just demonstrates how mockery has been made of the entire system by the present Board of Governors. Sir, just give me 2 minutes more. I have also learned that BOG has rejected more than 100 applications on the last date, that's 31st March. Not only that, when it realized that BOG had forgotten to decide on a number of applications, a special meeting was called on 3rd April after the last date was over, which was 31st March, in total violation of regulations and the directions of the Supreme Court. And these decisions have been communicated to the institutes with a date of decision and dispatched, backdated illegally as 31st March. This is a clear case of cheating, which was not expected from a government regulatory body. I have been informed that even after doing all this jugglery, in about 30 to 40 cases, no assessment has been carried out at all because BOG has forgotten about these applications. This has enabled these institutes to approach honorable courts and get the dean permission as per the provisions of the Indian Medical Council Act. Sir, let me bring to the attention of the members that the situation is equally dismal for the undergraduate course as well, and the same story of inefficiency and callousness will be repeated. As per the prescribed regulations, the first assessment has to be completed by 15 December. The institutes are required to submit a request for permission by 15th February. The last date for making recommendations of MCI is 15th May, and the last date for taking a final decision is 15th June. These are the directions of the Supreme Court.
Please conclude.
However, I have learned that 200 assessments are still pending. No decision in respect of even one college has been taken by BOG. No decision has been communicated to the institutes where assessment has been completed by 4 months even. As my narration has shown, it is a continuing saga of taking decisions contrary to regulations, violating the orders of the highest court of the land, and breaching blatantly the trust posed by the Government of India and nominating them to the august offices at the cost of supersession of a representative body. This reflects the incompetence and inefficiency of the BOG that the minister is planning to extend. Has he done a good deed? We all know, and I will say this clearly, medical colleges are asked for. This is the reason.
No, please.
This is the reason why acceptances and rejections are given. And this is, no, don't interrupt me. No,
Not say
Your
unless you have to
predecessor-
substantiate.
your predecessor.
You can just wide the allocation.
Sorry, no.
You cannot give the wild allocation. As minister, I will
Honourable
say,
member.
if even one person in this country will say that he has entered my premises or my house, even with a gift or just to wish me, nobody has been permitted in 3 years.
Why
I am the
was
first
it-
minister in the government of
then
India.
why is
And the
it-
website who
No,
said that if any person on
Well-
behalf of the minister, on behalf of the
Sorry,
ministry, on behalf of the BOG, come. No. This is not done. This is not. You cannot one side. Whatever you think and you can do. No.
Please, you have to
Because
substantiate with the-
those who do not get
That will not go on
permission,
record.
they approach them and can make all type of allegations.
Now, please wind up now. That should not go on record. Please wind up.
I will pray your indulgence.
Because earlier they used to pay money. Now no money is taken and they are rejected and they just rush to them and get the payment.
I said nothing will go on record. The allegation will not go on record. Please.
Approach to MCI. They should immediately telephone on this number. Open the website.
No,
Why
please
don't they
wind
open?
up now.
Why
Please wind
didn't
up.
see?
I'll call the next.
Just a minute, sir. I'm almost done. I've been interrupted. The BOG has broken every rule going, and yet you ask for an extension. What does that mean?
Because they have opened big darbar. All those were
That's right. That is right. But it is your BOG. It is your BOG. If the BOG,
Please now wind up. You made your point. Shri,
if on an allegation,
please cooperate with the chair.
if
Nothing will go on record. Please.
No, wait a minute. 1 second, 1 minute, tell you. How is it that the CBI recommended and the CBI inspected colleges that were supposed to be closed down have been given inspection, have been given extensions, have been allowed to do whatever they want? Obviously, there is money involved. Yes. There is money involved. You sacked the previous MCI for a
Nothing, this will not go on record. No allegation without proof.
1,000 crores. This will be 2G again, and I would demand a CBI investigation into the BG.
Shri Adil Chaudhary.